Hi, we're on Chapter 3, Lesson 7, Dividing Decimals by Whole Numbers. Please turn to page 231 in your textbook.
So again, I know that they're asking other questions, but I think that this is so much more important than when would we see real numbers like this. Estimate, compute, compare. Estimate, compute, compare. Make sure you do the comparison at the end to make sure your answer makes sense. Let's look at the real world problem. So we're going to the movies. Charlotte, Eric, Maddie, and Katie went to the movies and ordered snacks from the menu shown. How much did they pay for 4 small popcorns? So let's see. Popcorns are $2.45. And we come over here and we know that it's about $2.50. That's 5, so it's about $10, subtracting off 1, 2, 3, 4 nickels, which is 20 cents. So that's $9.80.
If I did the math right.
Yep, I did the math right. I'll explain how I did that in class. What is the total cost for 2 small packages and 1 large package of candy? 2 small, double that is $4.50. $4.50 and $3.20 is $7.70. And then how much for 4 medium drinks? Drinks are $3.35. So we know that 3 times 4 is 12. And then $1.20. And then 20. That's $13.40.
If I did the math right.
Yep, I did the math right. Wow, that's incredible. Doing left to right math, folks. What is the total for each? We know the popcorn was $9.80, the candy was $7.70, the drinks were $13.40. That's 11, that's 19. Carrier 1, that's 10. That's 20, so $30.90. Estimate how much for each. We know that there is 4 people. So let's go 32, and there are 4, so that would be 8 here, 8 here, 8 here, and 8 here. So each person is going to pay approximately $8. So let's get to the lesson.
Okay, so divide a decimal by a 1-digit number. When dividing by a whole number, divide as the whole number. Alright, and then making sure that you put the decimal directly above where it is in the dividend. So in this case, we have 6.8 divided by 2. So we got 7 divided by 2, which is approximately 3.5. So again, I'm going to put 3.5 in my little cloud. And when we do the division, we get 3.4. 3.4 is close to 3.5. We did good. So again, be very careful. Do an estimate first before you do the math of these problems. See you in a minute. Pause the video. Okay, so in A, I got an estimate of 3. My answer is 2.5. 3, 2.5, that looks good. In number B, I could do that one in my head and get a half or 0.5. But notice that I still worked the problem out. Why? Because sometimes when you think you can do it in your head, you still get the wrong answer. Why? Because you're careless. So I still did the work. I still got 0.5. In number C, I guessed 5 because I rounded it to 10. Divided by 2, got 5. And the answer is 4.9. Again, my estimate and my answer look good. Keep going. So now we're going to divide a decimal by a 2-digit number. So again, in this case, we're still going to bring the decimal directly up from the dividend into the answer. So we have 7.7 divided by 14. Ooh, this is a really good one to look at. I'm going to write this in terms of numerator, denominator. You should do the same in this case. Numerator over denominator. And I'm going to go 7 and 14. And I'm going to go 7/14 simplifies to 1/2, which is approximately 0.5. So now I would have put 1/2 or 0.5 in my cloud because I saw an opportunity to look at this as a fraction. Always look to see if you can put it in fractional form. remembering the first number is the numerator, the second number is the denominator, and down denominator don't go into den. So again, number placement is so very important. So 14 goes into 77 5 times. It's a 70. Subtract, you get a 7 and bring down a 0. 14 goes into 70 5 times. So your answer is 0.55, and we had guessed 0.5. So again, when we look at our estimate, we look at our answer, it makes sense. Always, always remember, down denominator, don't go into den. Just because 7.7 is smaller than 14 does not mean that the 14 goes inside. It means that the first number is the numerator, which is the dividend, and must go inside the den. All right, gotta go. See you in a minute. Okay, so for number D, I looked at it and said, oh, I can do that as a fraction. 9 over 15, which is 3/5, which is 6 tenths. So then I knew I was at 0.6 for my first one. E, I just said 4 divided by 4 is 1. And number F, I looked at the 17 and knew I could get about 3 out of it, so I put 3 in my circle. Then the hard part, you actually have to do the division. So D is 0.632. I got 0.6. 0.632. Excellent guess. Number E, you get 0.8725. Notice that I had to keep adding zeros to get my answer here because I did not have enough digits. And I guessed 1, and that's close to 1. And number F, you get 3.24. I guessed 3, and again, I'm in the ballpark. Division is all about carefulness. You really have to be careful when you're doing division. The more sloppy you become, the harder it becomes, the worse it is for you. So let's go ahead and keep going, looking at the example. In example number 3, Lynn is mailing a care package to his brother. The table gives the cost for mailing packages. If Lynn's care packages weighs 3 pounds, how much is the cost per pound? To find the cost per pound, divide $6.74 by 3. So the first thing we're going to do is estimate. We're going to say it's going to be approximately $2. Okay, because 6 divided by 3 is 2. So, now, when we get our answer, we get 2.246. But we know, in this case, that's not money. Again, 2.246. Cents is only 2 digits. So I have to look over the fence. In this case, I'm going to round. I'm going to get 2.25 or $2.25. So again, be very careful. Now, when you actually do the math of this, you're off by 1 penny, which is okay, because in this sense we had to round. But we know it's going to cost approximately $2.25 per pound. And our guess was $2. It looks good. Let's keep going. Now it's your turn. You have to use the table above. Come back when you're done. Okay, so again, when we look at these problems, 2 pounds is a little over $5, so we know it's going to be around $3. That's my guess. And a 4 pound is approximately 8. That's $2. So my guesses are $3 and $2 respectively. Now, when I do the math, I have to bring it out to the tens, hundreds, thousandths so that I can check to see if I'm going to round up. In both cases, I have to round up. For a 2 pound, it's $2.82. That's very close to my $3 estimate. And then for a 4 pound, it's $1.97, close to my $2 estimate. The higher the weight, the less it is per pound. Why? Because they charge you a lot for small items. It's just the nature of the beast. That's why envelopes are relatively inexpensive, because they don't weigh a lot. But then when you bring in that little care package, it is very expensive as compared to the larger one when we're talking about weighing it per pound or per ounce. Same thing for cereal, same thing for anything when you're buying it in bulk. The larger it is, the cheaper it becomes per unit measure. So, turn the page, let's keep going. Ryan and his brother are sharing the cost of a video game. The video game costs $28.60. If Ryan saves $20 to buy the game, how much does he have left after paying his share? Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is divide it by 2. Why? Because there's 2 people involved in buying this video game. So if I were to divide this in 2, generally, if I said that that was close to 28 divided by 2 is about 14 bucks each. Now, it has 20, which means that he would have approximately $6 left. And that's the answer we're actually looking for. So in this case, 2 goes into 28, 60, $14.30. So each person's going to pay $14.30. He has a $20 bill. Subtract the $14.30 out of it, and you get $5.70. We guess 6. Again, very close to our estimate. Now it's your turn. Kristen and her 2 friends are sharing the cost of a funnel cake. That means 3 people are involved. That's very important when you figure out this answer. See you soon. Alright, so we have 3 people. We know that 3 goes into that approximately 2 times, but not as much. So I'm going to say she's going to have about a quarter. That's what I'm going to guess. So now I come over and I do the math. And 3 goes into $5.49, $1.83. So each person's going to pay $1.83. We subtract 2 minus $1.83. We get 17 cents. So I guessed a quarter, 17 cents. We're in the ballpark. Now it's time for you to do the guided practice. See you soon. Pause the video. Okay, so in number 1, my guess was 1. The answer is 0.9. Very good. Number 2, my guess is 0.6 because I just decided 12 over 66 over 10, which again is 0.6, and incidentally it ended up being 0.6. So again, that was good. The next one, 69 divided by 33, 34 is approximately 2, 2.1. Again, excellent. I did all the math on a separate piece of paper. I expect to see these done on a separate piece of paper. You are not cheating and using a calculator for these. Okay, so then the next one. Light years, 5.8 trillion miles 1 year, 12 months. That's 12, so that's 6 over 12, which is a half. Or half a trillion. The answer is 0.49. Wow, that is really incredible that light travels that fast. In the next one, I got $3, and we get $2.50. So again, it looks good. So in this case, because you're making estimates, it helps you get in the ballpark, which means that you don't miss the problem. It's all about being careful. So today's lesson is all about being careful. Tomorrow we're going to be doing decimals divided by decimals. So it's all about moving the decimal to a whole number on the outside. So again, it's all about being careful. Division is extremely hard. Hang in there. We're going to get it. See you soon.